Holly Cotton here, and I am remixing it today, and I'm actually on location with our guest today. So I have D Valentine, D man of many hats, Damian Valentine. So he's gonna tell us all about all of the great things that he's doing, his mentorship program, his story of how he got to where he is right now, some of the projects that he's done as well. So welcome, Mr. D Valentine.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm great. Thank you. Of course.
Yeah.
So if you guys do not follow Damian on Instagram, first of all, drop what is your Instagram social media handles first?
So the official, Instagram is Platinum Beard Valentine. And I say official because there's a lot of fake accounts out there. So if anybody is getting DMs or getting messages from somebody that's not Platinum Beard Valentine, there's no 1, no 2, no 3. There's no element, no P at the end of it. And listen, y'all, I'm verified. So if it ain't got the blue check, it ain't me. Don't talk to him. Don't send no money. Platinum Beard Valentine on Instagram. Damian Valentine on Facebook. That's Damian Valentine.
Okay, all right, great. Yes, and I will say that your girl done elevated in life too, because I started getting some spam accounts as well. Shout out to Jessica stealing my pictures and making a whole profile. Yes, Jessica Oscar. And I actually had people send me her, and they went on and took all my pictures, made a whole profile.
I think it was
with 900 followers
I saw that
already.
Yes. Holly Cotton, it was Holly be picking cotton.
Whatever it was.
I was like, what's going on?
So out of elevated in life, people want to be me. I love it. So before we go into all of the great things that you're doing, Damian, let's start off with how you got on this path, because I love to hear how people actually started on the journey, how they found their passion. So tell us how you started. What made Damian?
Ooh, you know what? My son, you know. I was always somebody who was involved in music, art, dance, theater, entertainment. But, when God put my son in my life, he actually gave me the purpose, I would say before, I had purpose and I knew what I was doing, but I was kind of following the trend, And when my son came along and I got custody of him, November 2010, I was always in his life since he was a baby, but I got custody of him on November 2010. And from there, I knew I had to live and lead by example. So I said, man, I got to change things around. In my music, I can't be rapping about the things I'm telling him not to do. In my walk, I can't walk and talk and move, the way that I'm telling him not to. So I made an immediate, just adjustment. Not that I was doing anything crazy or wrong, I'm not a guy that, smoke or, do all the crazy drinking or nothing like that. But I know I had to really live in my purpose. So from there, I started the mentoring organization.
Hold on, we're going to get to all of that. Calm down.
It's getting juicy real quick.
Don't be jumping through my questions, Damian.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say from there, things started to really make sense for me. And just listening and following God, But he always gave me this energy, this charisma, and this image of somebody that was a leader. I know how to use the image that he gave me. And then when my son came along, it was go time.
And one of the things that I like about your story, Damian, which is why I wanted to get you, sit down with you and get your story, is because when people look on Instagram or social media, I just say Instagram because that's kind of like where I do my business at. But when people look at your Instagram profile, it looks like you just in the last year or two started doing all of these things. You want to be an actor, you want to be a rapper, you want to be a singer, you want to do whatever. but I like whenever you post those throwback videos or whatever, and it'll be like, this was me at 20, and I was writing raps at 20, and I was doing all of this. So this has been a lifelong thing that you were doing. So how did you decide, because there's a 20-year-old right now, we both have sons, you know, that my son wants to be an artist as well, or
They all want to
he's an artist already. I know, and I'm trying, because I'm struggling with the whole, I had an idea of what I wanted for him, and it's so hard when you have that idea and to let them find their own way and do all of that.
And I know you're a very honest woman and mom.
Yes.
So if son is spitting some whack lyrics over there, be like, son, it's not for you.
I know,
Listen,
but he's actually good. He's good.
You know what's crazy? I always told you, our sons favor each other.
They do. Yes.
It's crazy.
Right, they really do.
But trust me, I get it. You got a plan for them, and then they got their own plan.
I know. But I digress. So rewind to whenever you first started. 20 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever it was, rewind and tell us how that was whenever you actually started to try and go down this path.
Yeah, you know, man, ever since I was a kid, you know, I've been doing it, been dancing, you know, with music. And I ended up being that kid, like, you know, your parents don't know what to do with you, right? So they're looking at me and they're like, we don't know, like, what to do with this guy. You know, my dad's an engineer. My mom, you know, she was stepmom, you know, and she raised me. But she, you know, was an accountant, you know. But you got this guy who's dancing, you know, he walks in the room, you know. I was already, as a kid, just kind of like spotlight. So family used to come over, you know. I was born in Houston, I was raised in Cali, you know, for a while. But I had an aunt out there, she was very wealthy. She had a beach house. So the family used to come watch me dance, you know, and all that. Michael Jackson, you know, of course, greatest entertainer, you know, was somebody at that time, and, you know, and still to this day, somebody that was just a highlight in anybody's life, you know, in entertainment. So I would dance, you know, do all that. As time went on, they saw I had more talent. So I'm an artist too, so I draw, paint. I went to art school. So most of my life I was in performing arts schools. You know, George Washington Carver is my high school I went to. Art, music, dance, talent shows, break dancing on the tables. It's crazy, people don't believe it. But in high school, I was senior president, most popular, most handsome, and prom king. At the same damn time.
I think he just, I think he just checked the list. Do we have anybody that can verify? Any listeners that can verify? No.
Ask anybody that went to George Washington Carver, and they will tell you, and it's crazy because people see me now. I actually just got a DM. It was old, but I just saw it. And the dude was like, man, I don't know if you remember me, but we went to school together, went to Carver. He said, bro, I always knew that you would be this dude. He said, man, I just want to salute you, you know, for, you know, your walk. So I would say, I don't have one of those stories like I got my superpowers later. Right. And I was a nerd like in the beginning, you know, I got bit by a, you know, I was always kind of like this guy. But I was blessed because my parents kept me very humble. I grew up in a Christian household. So I was never doing anything crazy, never got no, you know, real trouble. I had the key to my school, you know, like literally. I had the key to the school. So, yeah, I would go to the school, you know, like the whole campus whenever I wanted, work on my art. And I just kept growing into this guy. So painting, drawing, dancing, rapping, making music, you know. And like I said, then my son came along, you know, when I was about 19, 20. Had an album in the stores with South Park Mexican, Hawk, you know, that's a throwback with those guys. And man, going to school, Prairie View. Prairie View is actually where I got the call, hey, I'm pregnant.
He was in them streets. You know
what I'm saying? I got that call. I had a 4.0 in architecture. I had an album in the stores. It was actively playing on the radio. So like you go to Walmart, I remember going to Walmart, they had the boom boxes, you know, and they're like, yo, they playing your song, you know? So it was like that. I got that phone call and I told myself, I mean, and when I say Prairie View was a party school, it was lit. Like as soon.
Hey, I went to LSU and I came from LSU to Prairie View for some parties. So
Let me tell you. So I was at the party school, like the flyest dude on the campus. You know what I'm saying? Like album in the stores, all that. And after I got that phone call, I told myself this is gonna be my last semester, and I'm gonna try to make this work with his mom, and I'm gonna raise my son. And everybody kept telling me, nah, bro, don't do that, don't do that. But I'm still glad I made that decision. And really to answer your question, I've always been on this path. And then with my son, it really aligned everything. You know what I'm saying? So, and then it got better and better, which I know we're about to get to pretty soon.
So one of the things that I do think that is unique about your story is the positive undertone of everything that you do. And it's really hard because there's so many musicians and artists, and it kind of makes people, like if they're trying to do that genre, there's that struggle because they're pulled between I gotta be street, but being nice is not cool. I'm soft.
Cool, right.
Or now they call it zesty. Now he's zesty.
All that.
Zesty is bad, I learned.
Zesty is bad.
But what has been the biggest challenge for you? Because we'll talk about your mentorship, but what is the biggest challenge for you to keep it positive? And what was some of that negative feedback? Did you have any struggles with keeping that positive undertone with your music and everything that you do? Yeah,
there was never an internal struggle. But I will say that I did have to, of course, put up with the other people. So, I got people that are real, close to me in my family, like one of my cousins. He knows, like, he actually grew up with me a little bit. So a lot of the stuff that I say, it might sound crazy, like, nah, bro, you didn't do that. He's like, nah, he did. I was there. So he's one of those people that would tell me, like, yo, man, some of the cousins, man, they laughing at you because they're like, bro, don't nobody want to hear that. Family members, close friends, they're like, bro, don't nobody want to hear that, and it was something that I was just growing up. I'll hear it, and I'll be like, word, and it never affected me, but it did affect those people. Because they saw that it didn't affect me, like I was walking in my purpose. There was never a reason for me to blend in no kind of way because I always knew I was different, So I was always okay with everybody doing what they was doing, And I said, man, if that's how you get down, that's cool. I was the dude when everybody was smoking or, doing something wild. I'm like, nah, I'm straight, So I'm glad that I never had any internal struggles to be like, man, this positive, thing ain't working out. I think I need to do what everybody else does.
I need to be a thug. Right.
Nah. My leadership was just embedded in me by God. My father as well raised me a certain kind of way, and I just always had it in me. But yeah, there was a lot of people, including family and close friends who doubted my positive movements. And it's crazy because now they see it and they like,
I'm glad you did.
That's what he was doing. Now I get it.
Well, and I think that's just in life, no matter what it is, whenever people don't understand what you're trying to do and they don't understand your mission or they've never seen someone do what you're trying to do, the reaction is never to support you. The first reaction is always, well, that's not gonna make it. That is the naysayers. So how did that segue into your mentorship program? So how did you decide to go from just making positive music to actually saying, you know what, now I'm going to take this and I'm going to start a mentorship?
My son, like I said, I got custody of him at the age of 10. And of course, he starts having these friends. So I don't know. I was always considered like the cool dad, you know. Not the cool dad that let you do anything you do. I was just cool.
Right.
All right. 'Cause I don't
Rico
play.
Suave, cool. Not. Yeah.
Not the friends with my child type situation. I need somebody to get it right out there. But so you know, young men, they'll come to the crib. I normally like stayed in a high rise or something like that, so I had these amenities, basketball court, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of the young men, they didn't have any fathers, or they didn't have any mentors or any role models. So, you know, it started turning into this thing like, man, I'm gonna ask your dad. So I'm like, what's up? And it may be about girls. It may be about, you know, music. It may be about, you know, appearance. Like, man, what you think, you know, about my outfit, Mr. Valentine? Like, that ain't it, you know, but I got you. It was never something that I, you know, turned them away and didn't give them something to walk away with. And they kept coming back for that, not just to hang out with my son, but it's like, hey, can I talk to you about something? I'm going through something. I'm talking about as deep as like suicide, you know, getting phone calls like, hey, I think you need to call such and such because he's in this kind of space. So I picked the phone up, you know, whatever it took. And after a while of doing that, I said, you know what, I need to make this official, you know, make an organization. So that's when I came up with the Young Kings. So I used to tell the boys, man, you know, it's king energy. Like always walk around with your crown. I carry myself as a king. And you know, there's this like stigma on the king and the queen thing, right? And it's so funny, like you talked about doing the positive thing, everybody always takes it and kind of like try to make it corny or something like that. And I'm like, so doing the right thing and king and queen like energy is corny, but that right there is not.
No,
you know?
I say that all the time too. Just trying to keep even keeping your social media in a classy way. You know, it's very hard because I struggle too. I get people all the time, hey, you want to do swimsuits? You want to do this? Would you do that? And it's like,
yeah.
Sometimes I want to do an OnlyFans too, but no, that ain't right.
Subscribe today. Holly be picking cotton. OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying?
$13.99 a month. $13.99 a month. No, but I'm just saying it's hard to stay on that path though, you know.
You know, it is, but I'm just blessed that God gave me this energy and he gave me this, you know, this self-esteem and this confidence that I don't need to do anything that you're doing. Matter of fact, I see you doing it because you're insecure, you know? But I always had that. And I know there's a responsibility with having that positive energy, with being able to overcome the negative things that people say about the positive things that you're doing. You know, I want y'all to listen to that because a lot of people have negative things to say about the positive things that you're doing. And it's not because they don't believe in you. It's just because they don't know how themselves. So I always knew that I had this leadership, you know, element in me. And I know that God didn't want me to just do it and look good with it. He wanted me to pull people out. So nothing anybody said ever changed my walk. It won't change. The Young Kings, I knew I had to do something positive to put some swag in it.
Was this is this like before you did the book or?
Oh, this before the book.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So this was just when you came up with the mentor program.
Yeah,
okay.
And the thing about me too, I'm a rapper too. So, and when I say rapper, it's not like the guy that gets up on a, you know, shooting a video, half naked women.
Right.
And I gotta like stack of money to my ear, you know what I'm saying? And no. Like, I'm speaking positive messages poetically to attract. So the kids, they're like, yo, this dude can really spit. Like he can rap. Like freestyling, all that. That's always been my thing.
And just for anyone who don't know, because y'all are young, but that's how back in the day when men tried to talk to you, they would say, let me rap to you for a minute. Let me, you know, so like that was actually a way of hollering. It wasn't it wasn't where you were making music. So
and that's the thing about it. You know, people say, man, you so smooth, man. You just a smooth dude. And there's so many things that I could do with it. Like I've had guys, people, women come up, you know, about pimping. Like, yo, bro, what you need to do is this. Like, I'm like, nah.
Hey, if he pimping, I'm doing OnlyFans. Like, that's it. We just, enough.
You see what I'm saying though? Like, it's so many directions you get.
Right.
I mean, you can imagine that if I really grab like some guys, like with the leadership energy that I have, you know, the charisma, you know, all these things we're talking about, I could use that energy to grab some ladies, grab some guys, and do something so negative and toxic with it, and say, yo, I'm gonna manipulate you in a negative way, you know, and have people out here doing things that's gonna be, man, just toxic to their dreams and what they got, you know, planned for themselves or what God got planned for them.
Right.
So for me, I know that I want to get people excited about, you know, making their dreams come true. So that was the thing, you know, with me. And it's popular, I don't know, to nowadays it's popular to like talk down on people.
Oh yeah.
Be messy.
Especially in the era of social media where you can be behind the, what do they call it, like the keyboard bullies or Twitter fingers.
People get off on that. So for example, if I post a video, you know, of me crowning my kings, or maybe, you know, me just being respectful to a woman, like, you know, hey, this is how you should do it. A fight video was gonna go viral before.
I say that all the time.
Yeah,
I'm trying to give y'all some knowledge all the time on my videos, but yes.
No, they. So, you know what these influencers started doing now? They started putting the fight video and grab the like wig off first. Then they're like, hey, are you ready for the change of life? You know what I'm saying? You're like, whoa, wait a minute. He got me. Now I want to listen to what he got to say. I'm not going to do that. But that's, you know, nowadays that's what's
a good idea. I'm just going to start my videos. I'm going to start all my podcasts off with me twerking for like 2 seconds.
That's
and then
all
I'm going to be like, now, some positivity for you.
Right. It'll work. But, you know, that's the thing about it. For me, I had to think about how I am going to have my own strategy and not follow what everybody else has to do to go viral. And for me, that's one thing I brag about. You know, I don't brag about my acting, my music, the way I dress, none of that. You know, I don't brag about my swag, you know, I mean, because it is what it is. But I will brag about how I can go viral off of positivity. Because that's not easy to do.
At all.
It's not easy to get 40,000 likes and 1,000 of comments for crowning young men to be kings, or for dressing up in a suit and speaking positive. You know, it has to be something crazy. So for me, it helps me to spread that message and show these young men and these young ladies, you ain't got to do that. You know what I'm saying? You can have positive swag and you can do it, you know? Because there's somebody wearing the same outfit and they go in a total different direction.
Facts.
You know? Somebody else out there with the salt and pepper beard, or somebody out here with the swag, and they're trying to steer the audience and everybody that they touch in a negative direction. For me, we going up.
I love that. Okay, so to sort of piggyback on that, so the whole cycle was, you started off, this has always been your passion, it's always been your dream. You have a son, you want to be the father figure for him and other people. You write a book, you start the Young Kings, the organization. You're starting to figure out, what do I need to do? How do I help? How many youth can I affect? And then now here we are today. So I know, one, you just had an event. I missed it because I was out of town.
Yes.
But because your girl be
she be booked. Cotton be booked. Okay.
Let me know.
Hollywood.
Yes. Let me know what's up for 2024. But so I know you just had an event that happened. So tell us about what is going on now and what are some of the things that you're doing, because you're not just talking to just the, like you said, the youth, the men that need the father figures. Like, some of them have fathers, maybe they're incarcerated. You're doing stuff with, you know, sick kids. You're doing stuff like, there's a whole large, I mean, it's just the umbrella underneath Young Kings now is just gigantic. So tell us about some of the stuff that you're doing now.
And it's funny because, like you said in the beginning, you were like, well, you know, we kind of see within the last couple of years all this stuff happening, right? I was always doing it. Social media now and the media and the way that we can post and put things out there, now you can see it. You know, you can see it more. Shout out to my man D-Flex. You know, y'all probably, you know, see my latest videos and clips. They crystal. The clip's so clear you can see what people thinking, like on the video. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, but that's him capturing these moments. If you can capture beautiful moments in the best form, at the best quality, it touches people the best way. So shout out to him once again. We got a lot of work to do 2024, all right? Lately, I've been able to do a lot of things that God has put in my heart a long time ago. I spent a lot of time really just being a single father, raising my son. I know we'll get to the acting and all that, but those are things that I really couldn't do as much. The organization, we could get busy because my son was a part of that. So, you know, we grabbing the kids, we doing it. But now I'm able to have a little bit more flexibility. I know you're speaking about the event. That was the K.I.N.G fashion show. The Dress Your Mind and Your Crown Will Follow fashion show with the K.I.N.G. Man, it was beautiful. To be honest with you, I couldn't even prepare for the result, the ending result that happened. And sometimes things don't happen how you planned them, but they go how God wanted them to be. That's what happened at the fashion show. So, in the way that it happened, Suit Mart, it's funny. I went to Suit Mart early in this year, introduced myself and said, "This is who I am." And it was like, "Cool, man, I like what you do." The guy was always interested, but he kept seeing me on Instagram. And I said, "Man, you know, I'm gonna come get some of your suits." So I grabbed a few suits, got them tapered, bam. I said, "Man, you look real good in them suits." You know, and he's like, "Man," I went back. He said, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?" He said, "Hey, come on in. Whatever you want in the store, I'm gonna take care of you like this." And I said, "Hey, can we talk again about the K.I.N.G?" He said, "Whatever you want to do." I said, "What I want to do, I want to do a fashion show." We do a fashion show wearing your clothes. And the young guys, they were all excited.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes.
All excited. I told them, go in, pick out what you want, get fitted, and we're going to make it happen. I would say that day, the confidence that those young men had, well, let me see. I don't want to say his name. But I would say one of the young kings, while I was crowning him, and because after we did the fashion show, I crowned each one of them, gave them an award, and kind of, you know, had them introduce themselves and talk about, you know, what they want to be. Because that's my whole thing about my book, which we'll get to. And while he was talking, he, you know, said, "Man, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad my mom brought me here." And he started to kind of tear up a little bit, you know. And it's just a reminder that I'm walking in my purpose, you know, and that you never know. Sometimes this may be the only time this year or this month that this young king or young queen got a chance, you know, to say, "Hey, the world's paying attention to me. I'm important. I got value," you know. And in that moment, man, it just made me feel so good, you know. And it was a beautiful event. Everybody was happy. Woo, it was worth all the
all the stress to do it.
All the stress that came with it. And in 2024, we're gonna do it bigger.
I'm gonna be at that one though.
You're gonna be at that one. Because
I
I plan to have some young queens in 2024.
I love that.
Yeah, I gotta wrap around and grab my young ladies. But I'm kind of starting with this movie we're gonna get to.
Okay, all right, okay, I love it. So, again, we've had all of these things that Damian is doing. So that's all giving back. That's all about, you know, everything was the mentor, following the passion. So let's talk about Damian Valentine, D Valentine.
Yes.
all of the things that you're doing now, because I know you have a movie that's out right now. You're doing promo on all of that.
Well, it's coming.
Okay, it's coming.
December 12th.
FYI, your girl did not make it in the movie. She did not make it in any other movie videos.
Hey,
she ain't do nothing. I'm just saying.
It's 2024. We're getting ready for you. Okay, I mean, we're gonna do something big in 2024. Look, me and her was
yeah, it's on
the
video
ring.
now. It's spoken to the universe. But anywho,
right.
I digress. So tell us about with the project that's coming out, and then also how did you transition from Damian doing all of this mentorship and everything else to now Damian being an actor and doing all of these roles now?
Yeah. Of course, when you're doing these things, you know, people are looking at it, they admire it, they love it. And then my son, you know, sent him off to college. So, bam, it's me now.
Empty nesting, yes.
Empty nesting. So, man, I moved, you know, got me a nice 1-bedroom high-rise spot, and it put me in a space, literally, that I could think and focus on what I needed to do. So, you know, I got out there, started doing my thing. I did a play. So, actually, I got a phone call. Shout out to Diana Patterson for the play, A Few Good Men, which is coming back in 2024. We're gonna be on tour, coming to your door, so get ready. But yeah, that's a beautiful play. And it's about like 5 brothers. Not as in brothers, but as in black men. And they have these relationships, and there's different challenges in each one. For me, I play the role of Derek, and I'm dating this young lady who has a son, but she won't let me get next to him. And for me, my thing is, if I'm gonna be there for you, I'm gonna be there for him too. And it gets to the point to where she's like, you know what? I didn't ask you for that. And if you not just gonna focus on me, we can end it. That's a challenge. And that happens out there because so many women are afraid of being left by the man they're dating because that man also leaves the child too. Another one, you know, there was abuse. Another one, there was insecurities. So I started that play in 2019. And from there, man, you know, my improv, like, it's so crazy. People like, yo, I like that dude right there. So every time I got off stage, somebody came up to me and was like, yo, I need you in this movie. I need you in this play. So that started happening. I got chosen to be on a reality show on a cruise ship. That was crazy. 7 days on the sea on a Carnival cruise ship. While I was doing that reality show, I said, man, I want to write a book. So, and I couldn't wait to get off the reality show.
Yeah.
It was the
7
youngest.
days on a cruise is a lot. People don't realize. I'm like, you give me 4 days on the water. Like 7 days is a long time.
And with people that you don't really know, the youngest person was 22. People was crying. People was.
Gosh.
I was like,
no
yo,
escape.
it's time to get back home, you know. And that was cool. But when I got back, I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I wrote that kid's book. And that's something that God gave me, you know. So I went from having an organization to getting back to myself, getting into acting, wrote the book, and it's not just a regular book. It's something that God gave me, you know. It's a rap-along book. So the kids can scan the code in the book and they can rap along with the words in the book. But it relates to the young kings because it's called I Am a King, and the character is my son. So, short story. When I
Long story.
No, this is short story right here. When I was 16, my first job was drawing caricatures at Astroworld.
Oh, okay.
So I was the guy that
you
came
might have
to.
drew me.
I might have drew you. That's what I'm saying.
I used to stay at Astroworld.
I probably did, because right now I'm still drawing your attention. That was for somebody who needed that. Take notes while I make quotes. Listen. So look. So back in the days, I used to draw the characters.
They'll throw up in my throat right.
Listen. So I used to draw the caricatures back in the days. So I said, who am I gonna get to illustrate this book? And I went through social media, the power of social media. I found the owner of the caricature booth, who was my boss. And I said, yo, man, please tell me you're still doing this. I need you to do this book. He's like, yeah, I could do it. Here's the price. The price was up there. I had to jump up and get the price. It was so high, okay? But I paid it because I said, I got to do this.
Right.
I can't create something that's going to be like a little skinny, wimpy kid. This has to be something, because I want to do a clothing line, all that. And that's who illustrated that book. Then I got the idea about the barcode and the rapping. I wanted to incorporate the rapping, the reading, the dancing, the moving, the colors, the art, so that kids could, you know, love it. Again, positive swag.
Right.
So that's how the book came along. So getting out there, doing that, and people just started seeing me more, and I just kept getting booked and booked for movies and to rap the book. So I was double booked. That was bars. That was bars, and y'all will get it later. Yeah, so I was getting booked by the book and booked for the movies. So yeah, and man, things just kept getting better and better, and it started to be this thing to like, okay, you're this guy. You gotta
So tell us about the movie that's coming out in December. Give us the synopsis so that anyone that's trying to follow you and you know they want to get in touch with you or watch your movie, whatever. How can they watch it?
Right. So it's a very interesting movie. I got a phone call, and it was like, and it's funny because I saw this movie actually being advertised that it was gonna, you know, be directed and shot. So I started seeing the Killer Zaddy concept, because that's what they do. Like, they'll put it out there, be like, yo, Killer Zaddy coming soon. We're gonna be looking for people. And I see people saying, yo, me, you know. And I saw it, I'm like, yo, that sounds like a crazy concept. I said, yo, let me just let them know. And I get a phone call, yo, can we use one of your pictures to advertise the movie, Killer Zaddy? So I'm like, I bet.
Right.
Going by my business, then I get a phone call. Shout out to Denise Monet, who wrote the movie Killer Zaddy. She said, will you be my Killer Zaddy? She said, I don't think there's nobody else that could do this role. Matter of fact, I wrote the movie for you, you know? And I was like, bet. I read the script. We did a table read, and I was like, man, this is different. Because, you know, the thing about Houston, it's turning into a little Hollywood. So shout out to all my actors, my writers, my dreamers, photographers, models, producers, whatever you are doing the entertainment in Houston, man, shout out to y'all. That's like, we gotta keep going and put out some good quality stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking for my Wonder Woman role, because I need a role where I'm beating some people up or something, like, you know.
I see it. I actually call her Superwoman, you know, because
I got some guns underneath this sweater, y'all. I don't want to let y'all.
That's a whole nother thing. I just seen her pull cars before on the freeway with people in them. So that's a whole nother thing. But yeah.
Don't make it about me, Damian. Don't make it about me.
It's always about you. I'm just here. I got time. But so we did the table read, and they was like, man, that's it. That's it. They was like, you got it.
So when can people catch it?
That's December 12th. And it'll be releasing on Tubi. I didn't know how big Tubi was until like probably 5 months ago. So shout out to everybody.
Oh, I'm always on Tubi. That's why I had someone and they were saying something about, but it's just on Tubi. I'm like, just?
Exclusive on Tubi.
Everybody's on Tubi now.
And you know what, people...
I'm trying to get on Tubi too.
People misunderstand Tubi. Right. No, for real. You're somebody like, for real. So... and people misunderstand Tubi. Tubi, like, they think, yo, it's a lot of trash movies on Tubi. No. Tubi has mainstream movies too.
Oh, yeah.
So all the movies that you love that are on Netflix and all that, some of those are also on Tubi.
A lot of them are, right.
Yeah, and there's some good independent films.
And that's where I see a lot of movies too that I didn't even see them before, and then now I watched Monique's The Reading the other day on Tubi, and I wouldn't have seen it if it wasn't on Tubi.
Those are some local brothers that you know, are in and also directed that movie. So, man, it's a cool platform, and I actually got some movies on Tubi already, but this is like my movie. This is the movie, and it's called Killer Zaddy, by the way, and it's basically about this older gentleman who has his own law firm. There's a young lady, she works at a restaurant, but she's trying to like get into the industry, you know. She wants to go to law school and do all that. One day, you know, Mr. Charles St. James, you know, goes into her restaurant. He leaves this big tip. Like, you're gonna see me flip the tip. It's in a money roll and it's on the table. And it was so smooth. It was like, listen, the movie is full of so many smooth scenes.
Well, don't give them
crazy.
too much. We just want to give the little synopsis.
Trust me, that ain't even too much.
Okay.
So, you know, he tips her, and from there they kind of spark, you know, this thing. But you can imagine sometimes when you don't get to know somebody and you just go off of what you see and kind of, you know, what you
Everyday
see,
struggle.
you know, you don't really get a chance to get to know who that person is. And to be honest with you, everything that I do, like you said, I put a positive twist on it. The movie Killer Zaddy is kind of gonna be my segue into going into the young queens. Speaking to these younger ladies, you know, out there, take your time, you know, get to know a man. You know, we talk about these red flags all the time. A lot of times the red flags already been there. You ignored them because the car was red. The red flag was there, but you ignored it because the money was green. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta pay close attention to who you're dealing with.
That's why I'm stingy.
Yeah, I'm doing some. It's no. Y'all take notes from Holly Cotton. I mean, in the movie.
I'm like, baby, I'm Holly Cotton. Come on now.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, it's not just younger ladies, it's older ladies
Oh,
too.
for sure, because that's why I wrote my book, Somebody's Wife or Not, because I said that. I was like, you guys have to learn how to love yourselves. You guys have to learn how to not let someone valuing you determine how you value yourself.
That's it.
All of that stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And in the movie, you're gonna love the guy. He's a charming guy. And just to clear it up and clarify, I will be on Fox 26 on Thursday on the Nightcap, and we're gonna talk about Zaddies.
Okay,
so
good.
just to clear it up on your show as well, a Zaddy is not a sugar daddy. Like, Zaddy is actually, if you Google the word Zaddy, it.
He's a zesty daddy.
I'm not zesty anything. No, I'm zestfully clean. That's it. But but a Zaddy, like, if you Google it, all right. I know a lot of people right now, they're gonna start Googling when I say this. It basically says like an attractive older man, you know, who is sexually attractive but also distinguished, carries himself, you know, charming.
Right.
Like, that's the definition.
Because you wanted to be a daddy, but then you don't really want to think about him with the dad bod, or you don't want to think of him as like a real dad. You want him to be like the sexy daddy.
So they say Zaddy. And it's,
I got a couple of zaddies. I know exactly what you're talking
saying. But it's not a
about. I
sugar
love you
daddy.
all equally, too.
In case they watching. But it's not a sugar daddy.
Right.
People confuse that. They're like, oh, you know,
No, it's
sugar
just
daddy.
a sexy daddy.
Yeah, because a sugar daddy is somebody that he don't have to be attractive.
Yeah.
You could be an old man in a wheelchair that's paying you rent
We
every
don't want
month,
no sugar daddy.
right? So that's the difference. It's a good movie. Man, it's something that I think for myself will elevate my acting career as well. Just because you'll see it's more coming after this actual movie too. So it's cool, but I'm using that in a positive way so that I can speak to these young women and tell them, you know, like, hey, be careful when you're dating guys. Take your time. Because like you said, everything I do is positive.
Okay,
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so for anyone that wants to like, follow, subscribe, support you, drop it, how they can support you, how they can support the Young Kings, all of that.
Ooh, I got a few plugs. All right. So, of course, you can follow me at Platinum Beard Valentine on IG, Damian Valentine on Facebook, Damian Valentine. You can also visit IamDValentine.com. You can book me there if you like acting, you know, mentoring. My organization is Young Kings. The K is for knowledge, the I is for integrity, the N is for nobility, and the G is for gentlemen. And you can go to YoungKingsMentoring.com and check that out. As far as my Rap Along Kids book, You can follow on Instagram at I Am a King Rap Book, and you can visit IamAKingRapBook.com. And last but not least, YoungKingsMentoring.com, and on Instagram, Young Kings Mentoring. Follow. I appreciate your support, and it's all positive swag.
Okay, all right. So that is Damian Valentine, you guys. And like I said, Damian, in the beginning, I just wanted to share your story because I think that is so motivating. I think that staying positive, especially in these times, it's very hard. Sometimes it can be a struggle because if you don't have that momentum, if you don't have the following, it's very hard to break into that genre. So I love your story. I love what you're doing. So that is Mr. Damian Valentine.
I appreciate it. D Valentine, the man of many hats. But you can call me either one.